guys. Now it's like 7:30 in the morning. I just uploaded my previous video about Burgos, and I'm at Starbucks, and I wanted to start this video off talking about food. And I had mentioned previously that the Philippines, and maybe it's just Makati where I'm at, but the Philippines is a little more expensive than I thought it would be, and some things are really expensive, but some things are affordable. Like I'm at Starbucks now, and the drinks are actually a little pricey, so you're talking maybe like $4 for what you'd get in the US at like maybe like $5 or $6. So not like a really deep discount on what the US is. But they have like a sausage and bacon flatbread that comes out to like $2. They have a roti chicken something, which is really good. I had it when I went to Mandaluyong one day, and that came out. Mandaluyong is a different part of town, different city, I believe. But I had that, and that's about $3, and that's really good too. So as far as Starbucks goes, the prices are pretty good on the food, not so great on the drinks compared to the US, if you're looking for a discount. But I didn't want to give the impression that the Philippines is actually like more expensive than the US, because everything is not, I wouldn't say like necessarily everything, because some things are like imported and they cost more, but most things cost a good amount less than in the US, or like somewhat less. And I had a big problem since I came here, because I wanted to lose weight, and you guys should know that by now, I would imagine, depending on what you've seen so far on the channel. But I decided to eat like foods that I know about, because the Philippines is really connected to the West in terms of a lot of businesses. There's the McDonald's, there's Burger King, what else? I mean, Jollibee is Filipino, I believe. And there's Wendy's, different things like that that we have in the US, and of course Starbucks that I'm talking about. But I kept going for like the value menu things at like McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King, and I just felt like sick to my stomach after a while, because like I'm fat, I'm out of shape. I weigh like 313 pounds right now, like 142 kilograms if I got the numbers right. But and I got a scale here, so I'm checking that. But despite that, and normally when you're fatter, that lets you eat a little more, and you can have greasier foods, saltier foods, and sweeter foods, and it doesn't affect you as much. It doesn't hurt your stomach as much. But compared to when you're like thin, because when I was thinner, it was like anything greasy I would eat, I would get like a stomach ache. And if it was too salty, it would be like sort of flavor overload, and the same with sweetness. But I realized that I was in the Philippines and I had sort of like a food bucket list, and I wasn't really getting to it. But today I'm going to go to Mang Inasal, which I believe is a grill, like a Filipino grill chain, and I've heard it's very good. The chicken is really good, and that's actually the last of the things that I need to eat in the Philippines. I haven't had that many dishes, so you might be like, whenever I tell you later on in the video what I actually had, you might be like, okay, well, he didn't have this or he didn't have that. But when I was back in the US, just being totally honest, so I had I don't want to say it, but I had a bad opinion of Filipino food, because when I was younger and near like 20 years age, a little, maybe my late teens, I had some Filipino food and it wasn't the best. Like I had Lechon, I had pancit, I had halo-halo, but for some reason I really didn't enjoy it. And I know, as far as Southeast Asia, it's early in the morning, so I have the eye thing going on. But as far as Southeast Asia, I love Thai food, I really love Vietnamese food, and everything that I experienced was really good. But Filipino food for some reason wasn't really like something I liked, And I was like, okay, well now I'm going to the Philippines with this trip, and I better take advantage of eating food out there, because whether I like it or I don't like it, I need to stick to being a food tourist, which is sort of what I did when I went to Amsterdam in 2024 and the Netherlands in 2024. But yeah, so I decided to start eating Filipino foods one by one, and you would probably be really happy to know that the food here, I don't know if Filipinos cook their food better or if Filipino food is just like really good and I had like a bad palate or whatever you would call it back home in America when I was in my late teens and early 20s. But there is a lot of good Filipino food in the Makati area, the Manila area, and you'd just be surprised because if you haven't experienced Filipino food, you might think, okay, it's like a little exotic and this and that, but or it might be like a little difficult to stomach for some people. But for me, it's absolutely delicious. I'm gonna give ratings and prices on these foods, and I'm gonna try to do a top 10 because it's gonna be really hard. I mentioned in a different video that I'm trying to get my e-visa to fly to Vietnam before I have to go back to the US late next week. But I don't know if I'll be able to get everything done, but I plan to, and that's why I'm up early this morning at Starbucks and making this video. But what was I gonna say? So I'm gonna give the one thing prices, second thing ratings. Now the reason I bring that up is because with these top 10 Filipino like foods and beverages and sweets, I have to say, and I'm my old self, like so me personally from like before 14 years ago, I would not have thought this, but my absolute, at this point, I haven't been to Mang Inasal, but at this point I wrote down everything that I had that was Filipino and or like very connected to Filipino food. And the worst rated thing I would give, and I think it's because of where I got it at a supermarket and I wasn't feeling it, like the absolute worst, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, was at least a 6, right? And I don't know, I kind of felt like I'm giving like a 9 or a 10 to like everything because I'm like a fat guy. But what can I say? So this is me eating Filipino food and showing you my top 10 before I get back into fitness when I go home to a larger extent. And I lose a lot of body fat and I build some muscle, so I might not be able to, also I'm going to be starting school, so I won't necessarily be traveling as much and I won't necessarily have a chance to show off the cuisine of different nations, although I still plan to, but just in my hometown by whatever restaurant I can find or by cooking if I have to. But anyways, so this is my top 10 list of Filipino cuisine. number 10. All right, I just got back from Mang Inasal, and by the looks of this pork sisig, I was probably wrong to rank this number 10, but because I had a store-bought version, but I'm just gonna stick with the original ranking, and I'm gonna taste it, and it's probably gonna be a lot better than rated number 10. Okay. I stand corrected. The sisig that I had, it's gonna be pork sisig for number 10. The sisig that I had that made me barely put it on the list was, I won't say the name of the business, but it was in a grocery store close to where I'm staying. Wasn't very good at all. The best I would rank it was a 6 out of 10. Just got back from Mang Inasal, you know, so I'm a little out of breath. I walked a long way, but the best I would rank it was a 6 out of 10. But you're gonna see in a second the pork sisig that I'm about to try. This is honestly at least an 8 or 9 out of 10. Sorry, and it cost like, I think like a few dollars or like a couple of dollars, something like that. So it's a small portion, but it's really good. But I'm gonna try it in front of the camera so you can see my mouth is watering. There was like water coming out of my mouth because I'm so excited. Okay, let me see. Can you see this? Can you see it? Okay. And the rice with the chicken oil, and it's not soy sauce, but like a black sauce. So, I won't rearrange the rankings at this point, but this is a top 5 or 6 at a minimum. But maybe it's because Mang Inasal is just that good. Number 9. We have ube. I've had ube as ube is a yam, by the way, that the Philippines they have like a lot of, and I've heard, I don't know if this is the case, but I've heard they sort of have like the world's largest share of ube as like a product. Anyways, so it's like a purple, usually purple color, and I've had ube ice cream, I've had ube cake, I've had ube bread, and I've had ube, ube like baked into the bread. And I've had ube hopia, and hopia is, I believe it's either Chinese or Filipino Chinese. It's like this flaky exterior, flaky sweet exterior. And then on the inside you can have like ube, or you can have durian or other flavors. I got that when I was in Chinatown, and it was really good. But so today, I mean tonight actually, because I'm recording really early in the morning, from Pan de Manila, if you can read that, as a gift I got, and I already ate half of this, so I got an ube cheese loaf. Yeah, so going to test this out, see how it goes, see how it tastes. But I already tasted it. So let me show you up close what it looks like. This is an ube loaf. It's like really sweet. Yeah. So I'll show you some more up close after I taste it and tell you how it is. So for the ube cheese loaf, like I said, I got this as a gift, so I don't know how much it was, but usually it's not too pricey at all. probably cost in dollars like a few dollars, maybe up to $4. I would imagine maybe a little more. But so my rating 1 to 10 for ube and ube products, but especially this loaf, is I'm gonna give this, okay, even though this is ranked number 9, and the ratings might be a little out of order compared to what the ranking is 1 to 10, I would say this is a solid 8. So just enjoying some ube. Now take a look up close at this sweet and beautiful purple slice of ube cheese loaf. Really delicious, and the rating is an 8 out of 10. Number 8. Okay, so I hopped down to the supermarket downstairs and I found the what I need for the dirty ice cream. I've had dirty ice cream only one time since I've been in the Philippines, and that was at the Salcedo Village. I don't know if it's festival or market on Saturday mornings in Makati, which is really nearby where I am. It was very delicious. I had it with pan de sal, which is bread, and I didn't notice because I was just overwhelmed by the taste what like texture the bread has. But so these weren't the flavors that I had exactly. There was the queso and the ube, but instead of mango and choco, there was also avocado. But I believe this is the same sort of thing. The thing that really blew me away is the queso. The cheese, I thought it was gonna taste weird because I heard about it on YouTube and I was like, okay, that doesn't sound that appetizing. But if I remember correctly, and I'll double check now, but it tastes like cheesecake back home in the US, which is one of my favorite flavors. So anyways, getting back to the review, let me open these things up and I'll record. So here we are, we have it opened up and ready to eat. There's the pan de sal, the bread, and I put queso as a flavor and ube. Remember, ube is the yam, and queso is sort of like a cheesecake, but it's also like a yellow American cheese. So you have chocolate, you have mango, you have ube, and you have queso cheese. I'm gonna hurry up before all this melts and taste it. Okay, here we are. Number 8. Let me get that. Number 8 is dirty ice cream. Let's take a look. I already set it up, and let's dig in. Okay, you can see the bread and the ice cream, ube and queso. And this is supermarket version, which I tasted a little bit. It's not quite as good as what I had at Salcedo Village, but you know, it'll do. Just to give you an idea. Okay, it's all melting, as you can see right there. I'm gonna finish this up actually. And this is with diabetes that I'm doing this, but you know, I have the medication and I'm gonna lose the weight, so hopefully we'll figure that out. So the cost for all the bread and the ice cream, which I'll show because I got the more affordable version, was about $3.50, and it's quite a bit, yeah. So this ice cream is starting to melt, but it's like a huge tub of ice cream. and it's like 10 or so bread, like a bunch of bread, pan de sal. Anyways, so what is my rating on this, which is ranked number 8? At Salcedo Village it was better. Here I would say I'll give it maybe a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'll go with that. At home it was a 6 out of 10 because the quality wasn't as good. At Salcedo Village I remember it being something like closer to like an 8 or like a 9. But anyways, I ranked it number 8, and I'll show you the rest of what you need to see to know if you want dirty ice cream. Oh, and by the way, it's not dirty. It's just I think it was associated with like street food and like lower classes in the past, so the name sort of stuck with it. That dirty ice cream outside of the supermarket was a lot better, and I guess that's to be expected, but this was a little underwhelming. And now I'm stuck with a bunch of ice cream and everything and like bread that I don't want. But anyways, yeah, I stick with the 6 out of 10, maybe even 5 out of 10. Number 7. Alright, so I ran downstairs and I went to the hypermarket, which is a supermarket downstairs, and they have this Turon. They never have the one with the chocolate inside, but they have 2 kinds. They have one with lanka and one with lanka and ube. Lanka, I believe, is jackfruit, and the one on the right is the one with only jackfruit and banana, and then, you know, the like sweet like egg roll type thing on the outside. And then on the left, there's the one with ube and lanka. And I talked about ube previously already, but here you have it. And I would say the cost is, I would say, the cost actually is 50 pesos for 2 of these, and they're huge. I've already eaten some, but look, like, if I can show my hand next to it. My hands are like relatively large, and I've already eaten like that much of it. So pretty big, and the cost is 50 pesos for 2, 25 a piece, which is less than $1 at the current exchange rate. And even though this is ranked number 7, I am going to tell you this is, and I'll explain a little later in the video, but this is the biggest surprise I had in the Philippines, even though I had several surprises as far as cuisine. And this is a 10 out of 10. You have to try Turon if you come to the Philippines. First, I'm gonna try the Turon with the ube and the lanka, which is the ube, which is the type of yam, and the lanka, which is jackfruit. And there's, I believe, banana inside. I don't know if it's plantain or banana, but and then it's like a delicious wrap that's sort of like a sweet egg roll. But let me try it. And I'll be repeating this, but okay, so take a look. I've already eaten some. Pretty big, right? And then you can see, let's see. Can you see? Okay. Okay, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna take another bite. I should be talking, right? But it's so good that I have to keep going. So that was the ube and lanka, and now we have the just lanka. This, like, the outer part is coming apart. I don't know which of these is better, but if I had to like compare them and decide on one, I would say get lost, eat both. Yeah. So 10 out of 10, really great. And I'll show you up close. Bye. So just gonna have a pit stop and relax a little bit, and afterwards get back to the video. It's a lot of walking, a lot of eating, but it's enjoyable. See you guys. It looks good, but I don't know. How much is it?
1,000.
1,000. I don't have 1,000.
Thank you so much.
So 200 for the Ray-Ban at P. Burgos. Thank you so much. See you next time. All right. Well, I got back to the Airbnb, and I was taking a little break in between filming this fourth video about my top 10 favorite Filipino foods since I've been in the Philippines. And I went to P. Burgos again, Hookah again, and I ran. And what happened was they started like cleaning me out. I got these glasses. I didn't even want to buy them. I didn't want to put him on YouTube or anything, but he was such a nice guy and everything. And at first he was like 1,000 pesos, which is like $14. And you know, they're fake Ray-Bans. So I was like, no, I don't have it. I physically had like under 300 pesos in my pocket. And he was trying to sell me at first a 6,000 peso watch. You know, that was his price. And you know, I was like, I showed him inside my wallet, and he just kept saying, you know, he has to eat and everything. So he said 250, and then he said 200, and I was like, okay, I'll give you 200. It's fine, but I want you to be on YouTube. And he said, yeah. He kept saying, no. So I was like, come on. So anyways, in case you're wondering, and this might be because Filipinos speak English so well, but the Philippines might just be literally the location to move to if you want to become the head of world tourism, because they know exactly how to do the tourist business in every aspect. I'm getting cleaned out day after day in Makati and in Manila, but it's really enjoyable. I'm not like angry about it or anything like that. So anyways, yeah, just take a look at me chilling out a little bit, and then I'm gonna go to Mang Inasal once again like I did yesterday, and pick up some food and continue with the reviews and the rankings. All right guys, this is it for me. Number 6. All right, so here we have ranked number 6, halo halo, which is a really famous dessert from the Philippines, and specifically bebeng halo halo. Bebeng is like a chain, and they're pretty much in a lot of different places in Manila and Makati. I mean, I've been to one in Mandaluyong in SM Mega Mall, and I've also seen one in Paseo Center in Makati. I didn't order because I had to leave, but they're really good. They were surprisingly good when I had them. I said I'm diabetic, so type 2 diabetic, so I try to avoid this sort of thing, but you know, once in a lifetime opportunity to come to the Philippines. And so this drink, I'll show you, it has like ube and I think ice cream and I think like cinnamon. This was delivered and I just had it in the freezer, but there's like a lot of different things. And usually I just got back from Vietnam and I'm filming sort of out of order, but Vietnamese food is really good, but I think the Philippines, especially with halo halo, wins out on the desserts, definitely. So this whole thing, which is pretty big, if you look at it compared to my hand, and like I said, I have pretty decently sized hands. This comes out to about $4 or 238 pesos. Now I'm gonna try it and give you my rating. Okay, so I didn't mention this specifically that I got is the presidential. That's what it's called, and it's the second time I'm having the presidential. It's the only type of halo halo I've had since I've been in the Philippines, and it's the only type of halo halo that I remember. And I was like sort of full. I had like Korean barbecue before I had the last halo halo, and I was too full and I was getting like grumpy, so I thought I wouldn't enjoy it. And like I thought it was just like ice cream, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't mix it up, and halfway through I was like, wow, this is so amazing. I need to do this again, and I need to do a review on it, because this is much better than what I was expecting and what I had remembered way in the past. But you know, you can do some research on what's in halo halo and figure it out for yourselves, and maybe in the future I'll talk more about it, especially my mouth is watering again as I'm mixing this up, as it's melting. But yeah, in the future, I hope to come back to the Philippines, and I hope to do more on halo halo, and maybe by then my diabetes will be in like remission or like reversing or whatever that is. But enough about that. I'm not gonna mix this up completely. I'm just gonna eat it the wrong way again, because it's good either way. But I do believe Filipinos when they say that you're supposed to mix this up. But let's try it. So it's not exactly ice cream, I don't think. I don't know. But then it has like these like fruit jellies and like ube and different things. A lot of different flavors, and nothing like something you would have in the United States if you're not used to Filipino food, or maybe Southeast Asian food at most. Okay, so to not drag this on, I'm gonna have to finish this up because it's really, really good. But I would say the least I would give halo halo in the presidential is an 8 out of 10, and I would easily say a 9 out of 10, and maybe even a 10 out of 10. I know that's not really conclusive, but I would say definitely try it. Number 5. All right, so staying alive at number 5, we have a 245 peso, which is almost exactly at this point $4 chicken adobo meal. I've had pork adobo, and it was my first time having it at BGC at a place called Juan's Bistro at the Venice, I forget what it's called, the Venice Grand Canal Mall. But this is my first time having chicken adobo, which I've heard a lot about. And Filipinos don't seem to like care that much about adobo, but for us foreigners, some of us, we really like it. And this came with rice, like a bunch of rice and soup, and compared to my hand, you know, pretty decent size for about $4. And I'm gonna try it now and tell you what I think. As usual, I'm already eating, but I tried the broth or the soup, and it was so good. This is, I think, called Pinoy Bento Sin Camas. That's where I ordered from. I'm running a little behind on things because I'm flying back to the US tomorrow night, and it's nighttime here already. And so I ordered the last like 4 things since I got back from Vietnam through Foodpanda and through Grab, which are, you know, sort of like Uber Eats and Grubhub and DoorDash and everything back in the US. But anyways, so I tried some of the rice, and that's what I was chewing on, and the broth, and it was really good. And I'll start with the chicken adobo now so you can see. Okay, I don't want to spill anything. Take a look at that. I don't want to move this up. I don't want to change the rankings. But this chicken adobo, it's like something you don't share with someone. You just kick them out and get rid of them because it's that good. But I'm gonna have to snack on this a little more. And let me get some rice though. That flavor, whatever, like I need to figure out, it's garlic and like oil and what else. But that flavor, and I'm becoming a little bit more like old school, I guess. So eating the rice with my hands. Rice is good too. I should mix up some of the adobo sauce with the rice, and let's get some broth in there. Really, really good. I hate to do this, but 10 out of 10. All right, on to the next one. Number 4. Here we have number 4. The plate is a little overstuffed, but it's the grilled chicken Inasal, char grilled chicken with Java rice and white rice. You can't really see it that well, but let me lift this up. Let me move this out the way with my hands. Take a look. Now I have to get the rice off my hands somehow. I wonder how. But can you see? Let me stand up. Can you see? Okay, so char grilled. Let me give you a better look. Char grilled chicken with rice, ranked number 4, and I'll give you the explanation right now. Okay, number 4. I've already started eating, but number 4 rhymes with "Give me some more." Bodybuilder's dream chicken and rice from Mang Inasal. It would be ranked higher, but it's just like literally there are like better tasting things, if that's even believable, in Filipino cuisine. But and I keep saying cuisine. I think Mang Inasal is a little bit on the fast food side, so but I still call it Filipino cuisine because they do a really good job. To me, it's like a Michelin rated establishment. But like I had been explaining, I believe already, Jollibee is the owner, as far as I know, and I would have to say it's better than Jollibee by far. Even though Jollibee is okay, but Mang Inasal is way better. And you've already seen number 10, the Sisig, which should be ranked like 6 or 5. But yeah, so I'll show you guys like afterward the actual food. But so the cost for this was, I believe, like $2 or at most $3 also. But anyways, let me get the chicken. I'm gonna eat with my hands so you guys can enjoy. Let's see. Wow, take a look at that. I don't want to drop rice all over the place, but take a look. Take a look at that Inasal grilled chicken. Let me see if I can get some meat. Give me 1 second. That is darn good chicken. Grilled chicken. So I'm like slobbering all over the place because it's so good. But some white rice as well to go with the chicken. Bodybuilder's dream chicken and rice. And I also got Java rice, which I don't know what's in it, but it tastes like white rice with chicken oil, but it's pretty good. So I don't know if you're grossed out. I don't really care because number 4, give me some more. Sorry, number 4, give me some more. That was a piece of chicken. Anyways, Now we will get to number 3. But before you go, I got too caught up in eating because look at this chicken. Before you go, so what would I rate this out of 10? 1 to 10. You already know that I'm going to rate this a 10 out of 10, an 11 out of 10. I love chicken, but sometimes I, want to get into like things like eating a lot of beef or pork or whatever just to stay away from chicken. Not with Mang Inasal's grilled chicken. It is delicious. It is an 11 out of 10, or okay, whatever. If there's a 10 limit as the highest, it is an exact 10 out of 10. See you guys. Number 3. OG number 3. This is Lechon from Lydia's Lechon, which I ordered through Food Panda. I haven't been to the physical location. The first time I had Lechon was at Salcedo Village in Makati, which is like a market or like festival thing they have on Saturday mornings. And that was probably a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. It was Lechon Cebu, if I understand correctly, which is like a highly prized type of lechon. And I don't think this is the same, but I'm not definitely sure. But there you have the skin of the pork, and then there's the meat, and there's some of the sauce. I'm gonna take some video with the sauce on it, and then I'm gonna get to eating. Okay, I had some of the sauce, and the sauce is fire, no joke. The sauce is better than the sauce at Salcedo Village, and I don't know, I just have to try this. My mouth is watering already. It came out to almost 500 pesos, around 484 pesos, so about $8 for a quarter of a kilogram. Anyways, I think it's worth it. It's a little more pricey than different things I could have gotten, but where it's at in the ranking is probably pretty solid. I'm gonna try it though on camera in 1 sec. See you. All right, well, I had a little bit of lechon already, and I want to say that this video might just turn into the fact that food in the Philippines, Filipino food is what I mean, but Filipino food in the Philippines blows out of the water all of the Filipino food that I know of in the US. So just keep that in mind. And it might just be that Filipinos are really good cooks of Filipino food, and maybe different people are cooking the food in the US that's Filipino, or maybe they just they lost a little bit of flavor and they need to move back here and learn how to do it. Anyways, so let me get some of this skin and show you with the sauce on it. The skin and the sauce. And I'm having little bits of different food to film this, and now I'm getting to the point where it's like almost my breaking point, and I just want to start digging in and eating, but I can't. I have to go on, so I can only have one piece of this. But here's the pork, which is like a barbecued pork on a spit roast, I think, sort of thing, like the whole actual pig. And there's some sauce. Okay. While the pork itself, the lechon itself, not the sauce, which is better from Lydia's lechon, the lechon Cebu from the stand at Salcedo Village was really good on the Saturday morning that I went, the first Saturday that I was in the Philippines. This pork is really good. This lechon is really good, but it's not as good as the Salcedo Village. And despite that, I still give this maybe a 9 out of 10. So there you have it. You know the price, what I think about the taste. It's really soft and tender. That's the thing about it. But I mean, pork is usually good. At least I think so. So anyways, again, moving on. If there's one thing about the Philippines and Manila, Makati and Mandaluyong and Binondo and Intramuros, it's a lot of fun, but sometimes you just gotta get some sleep too, and then get back to the food and whatever else there is later. See you guys. Bye. Now it's morning again. Time to get back to it because tomorrow morning I actually fly to Vietnam for the first time in my life. I'm going to be going to Ho Chi Minh City. So let's get back to this top 10 Filipino foods. But before that, let me know if you spot something. What a difference a shave makes, right? I finally got to shaving. I had been recording and I was like trying to push through and get things done, but I realized I had transformed into an ogre earlier this morning. And I looked like not like Shrek, like a bad ogre, like a ogre warlock or something. But anyways, today is Labor Day, and as I was saying, I have a flight to Vietnam tomorrow, to Ho Chi Minh City tomorrow in the morning. But it's Labor Day here in the Philippines, and I'm gonna try to get the rest of the foods done for this video. But I might have to hang out at the pool at the condo Airbnb downstairs and have a good time. But I enjoy making these videos, so that's also having a good time. So I guess double good time. Anyways, yeah, I'm just happy that I shaved to clean up a little bit, and I'll see you guys later on. Number 2. Okay, number 2, what it do? It's a surprise that anything can actually beat Lumpiang Shanghai, which is like a type, not exactly, but a type of Filipino egg roll with pork in the middle. And honestly, it's hard to give this not number 1, but it's because number 1 is just that good. But strong number 2, this came out for 12 pieces. I already had one. 12 pieces were 250 pesos. So you're talking about 20 pesos a piece, or 30 cents, 35 cents, something in between that, US dollars for each one. And you can look, they're a little bit on the small side, but they're so delicious. And I got this from close to Greenbelt Mall, like on Arnai Street, but I had it delivered this time, and it was really good. But I'll show you how I end up eating this and how much I enjoy it before going on to number 1 a little later. Like having a good cigar of some sort. But even better is tasting it. So what it looks like, and let me bite into it. That's the pork on the inside, and I don't know what else. It looks like carrots. So this isn't as good as the first time I had it, and even though it's not, it's a little more oily, a little tougher to eat. The lowest I can even give this is a 9, and it is ranked number 2, and I'm still gonna go ahead and give it a number 10, and I'm not being generous. It's just Lumpiang Shanghai, I don't think can be beat as long as you're into eating pork. And what's left to say? Once again, if you can and you should, get on an airplane, come to the Philippines, and actually have real delicious food. On to number 1, the top of the list. And finally, number 1. And now here we have number 1, Andox. Total surprise, but a really great surprise. And it's a chain in the Philippines, and I'll go inside shortly and order the number 1 dish that I had of Filipino food. So take a look at this 10 out of 10 barbecue liempo, which I think is pork belly, and they give you some rice and vinegar. I believe this is vinegar. I think so. I don't really use it though. I've been here several times. And 7-Up, and the entire cost is like what, like $2? 138 pesos. So a little over $2. But I'm gonna go ahead and taste it now. Okay, now so for number 1. I'm gonna try the liempo. I've had it, like I said, a few times, and it's the best dish I've had in the Philippines. I really enjoy it. I got this kind that's like on a stick, but normally it comes like cut and like with like short rib sort of form. But I'm gonna just eat with my hands. You are missing out if you don't have this liempo at least once in your life from Andox. And a little bit of rice. So, see you guys later. Hello everyone, so this is the end of the video, except for afterwards I'm going to talk about the foods that I didn't mention in the top 10 that I had. There were Filipino dishes or like drinks or sweets or something like that. And I'm also going to just give a shout out to everyone all around Makati and Manila for the great experience, because so my e-visa came through for Vietnam, and now I have the immense opportunity to actually go and see Ho Chi Minh City, which is going to be an enormous experience for me. But I'm getting a little sad because I had a really good time in the Philippines. Everything was great. I'll do another video, like one more. I don't know if I'll be able to have the time because the e-visa came in a little late to film that video in the Philippines. I plan to, but if not, I'll film it back home, and I'll reflect on what I was thinking before I came to the Philippines and what I feel now, which is I'm so thankful for everything that I've been able to experience and the people, and I don't know. These people are just really a blessing here. They really care. They're very kind, and I still don't know. Is it like they're just born nice, or is it the culture? So, anyways, getting back to the food though, I'm sitting right now at the site of I believe it's called the Salcedo Village, like festival thing that they have like on Saturday mornings, where they have a lot of different foods, which is where I tried many of the first things that I had in the Philippines that were very, very delicious. This is in Makati, not too far from where I'm staying, but it's where I had lechon. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Lechon Cebu. It's where I had dirty ice cream, which was really good, and as was the lechon Cebu, and a lot of different things. But unfortunately, I had like pizza and stuff like that too, and cotton candy. But unfortunately, because it would have been better to have more Filipino foods. But there you have it. This is the top 10, and look into my video with Ho Chi Minh City and my different videos coming up, and especially when I travel more, I'd love you guys to join me and see what you think. Thanks a lot, and almost completely bye from the Philippines. Okay, so now for the real end of the video. I had a total of, according to my records, I had a total of 18 different Filipino foods while I was in the Philippines for this month. Well, it's going to be a month pretty soon, in about a week. And they were all good. Like I had said at the beginning of the video, probably the worst rating I would even give is like a 6 out of 10. And I'm shooting this video in like different order, but I'm still gonna go retry that 6 out of 10 and see how it is. Yeah, so let me tell you about the 8 Filipino foods that didn't make the list. But before I do that, let me reiterate that number 1 was barbecue liempo, which is pork belly, and it was a definite 10 out of 10. It was such a surprise. It was so delicious. The rice with it went so well. I believe it was grilled, and it had like, it was oily, but it was so good. And then the biggest surprise to me was actually number 7, the Turon, which is, I believe, banana, or it could be plantain, but I think it's banana. It has like a fried layer outside of it, sort of like an egg roll, but sweet. And it has potentially different things that they put inside. Like it's never available, but like chocolate could also be put inside, I think. That wasn't ranked number 1 by any chance, but it was the biggest surprise on the list, because though there were a lot of surprises, meaning a lot of good foods that tasted really great compared to what I would have imagined, the Turon was something that I could see myself having for if I lived in the Philippines, especially because I could get it more easily. I could see myself having it like every week or so for the rest of my life, maybe with ice cream or something like that. But anyways, so this is the real end of the video. I'm going to be going to Vietnam in about less than 48 hours, so I'm in a little bit of a rush, and I'm going to get things done hopefully, and maybe before I leave and maybe after I get back from Vietnam, I'll upload the videos. Thanks a lot. Okay, and now for the 8 foods, the 8 Filipino foods that I had that didn't make the top 10 list, and to get out of you guys' hair and lack of hair on my part. Okay, so number 1, this isn't in any order that's really relevant. It's just a list of 8 of them that I did have. I had gulaman, which is a drink that I don't know too much about, but I saw it on YouTube. It was good. I just didn't, I didn't think it fit or deserved to be on the top 10 list. And coconut juice, I think, the coconut juice I had in another video from the street on P. Burgos, from the street vendor, that beats the gulaman. But gulaman is interesting. It's nice. It has a sort of like a fruity and rooty taste, and it's good. So mamon, I didn't like. It was like a pastry. I had it from Pan de Manila. Didn't like it too much. Didn't like it. So there's lumpiang toge, which is a vegetable-based like egg roll sort of thing. I've had it. It's good, but it didn't deserve a top 10 because, especially, you know, you'll see you already have seen. Sorry, filming out of order. But Lumpiang Shanghai is number 2 on the list, and potentially would have been number 1. So yeah, not going to be able to compare with the Lumpiang Shanghai. So also Tahoe, or I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but Tahoe. It's like a like tofu with like sweet like syrup sort of thing on it. Very good. Really sort of fills you up in the morning. And they sell it on the street. They sell it at Salcedo Village, a lot of different places, but it's not going to be able to make that top 10 list. Okay, pancit, which is a form of noodles. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I can get noodles different places. I like pancit. It's really I've liked it since I was like 20 years old, but when I didn't like Filipino foods that much. But still, it's, you know, it's a form of noodles, so I'm not gonna compare it to like a pork adobo or, you know, a barbecue liempo or something like that and put it on the list. Sorry, and I need to stop eating carbs because I'm diabetic anyways. Sticky rice. This was on this list of 8 was the biggest surprise. I got it with a few different flavors. I think it was with ube too, and jackfruit, and I think another flavor, I forget. But the jackfruit sticky rice was absolutely delicious. The only reason it's not on the list is because, you know, they're just better foods to put in the top 10 as far as what I've had. Yes, so ensimada. There's a chain of like pastry and like bread making different foods, but like mostly pastries and bread based foods, and the chain is called Goldilocks, and Goldilocks makes a pretty darn good ensimada, and ensimada beats mamon. Ensimada has like cheese on the top, as far as I know. I don't know if it's like always like that, but it has cheese on the top and like some sweet like margarine, and it's like a really soft bread that has that on top, and it's really delicious. Would have made the list, but you know, stronger things in the top 10. Okay, and finally, so this is like a health thing, but I really liked it. Balot, which is the duck egg with like the, I don't know if it's called embryo or like the duck chick still forming on the inside. Definitely would have been in the top 10, but apparently it's really high in cholesterol, or it can cause like high blood pressure and things like that. To me, they have it on Burgos Street, sometimes like on the weekends. There are guys with carts, and they have vinegar and salt to put on it too. If you come to the Philippines and you don't have balot, I'm just gonna go ahead and say you sort of, I don't know, you're not adventurous, I think. But yeah, balot definitely would have made the top 10, but you know, the health concerns, I think, removed it from the top 10. But anyways, guys, so enough of me talking about food and being fat. I need to get ready, like I've been saying, to get to my trip to Vietnam, and I have some more work to do before I go. And I look forward to showing you guys Ho Chi Minh City and filming whatever I can, recording whatever I can. But I do have to say before I go, Filipino food in the Philippines, and maybe when I go back to the US, I'll compare what I felt about Filipino food in the Philippines to Filipino food in the US at some point. But Filipino food in the Philippines is a total surprise. It is completely full of different, like I said, I don't know if it's the cooks or what, but they have so many different delicious foods, so many different flavors that are delicious. And I totally changed my mind about my feelings when I was around 20 years old, when I didn't like Filipino food or it would upset my stomach. I had a really great experience with just about every food that I had, and I will say, of these 18, I had a great experience with all of them, but there were some things that were lacking because, like, for example, some of the foods that I had the first time around, I had at a grocery store nearby my Airbnb, and I don't think that's up to par with some of the places I could have gone. But you know, I was trying to budget at first, but it didn't end up happening. Anyways, so guys, thank you so much for viewing, And please do subscribe. And if you want to start commenting and getting involved and teaching me, maybe I can learn from you guys, because I probably mispronounced a lot of things and I probably didn't explain as well as I should have. But leave some comments, leave some likes, and subscribe.